Hello, neighbor. I'm Robert Burns, and welcome once again to another edition of Sound Off Louisiana. And I know on our last feature we said that it would be the last one prior to the election. But you know, sometimes some unexpected things happened, and such is the case today. So once again, we have as our guest none other than Ascension Parish Sheriff candidate C.J. Matthews. And he said, Mr. Burns, or Robert, we're really informal with each other now. He said, I really want to speak on this. And I said, well, let's go ahead and set it up. So here he is. The first item that he's going to discuss is the fact that, I don't know if anyone's noticed it, but the DeSoto Parish Clerk of Court has been cited for improper campaigning in that he has gone into a nursing home during a restricted period leading up to Saturday's election, that has made the news. And he has provided me with the evidence by way of photos and it being up on a nursing home's website that Jeff Wiley has done the same thing. So I've told you what it is. I'll let you elaborate further on it, Mr. Matthews, and then after that I want to come around and join you. I have a few things that I want to say, and I want to be on this camera when that takes place. So you go ahead and talk about the electioneering right now.
Thank you, Robert. As Robert pointed out, the DeSoto Parish Clerk of Court, I think it was.
Yep.
Was arrested.
He was arrested?
Well.
Cited at a very end.
Same thing. Issued a summons.
Okay.
It's a misdemeanor violation.
All right.
But Title 18-1334, electioneering in connection with voting in a nursing home, reads as follows. A, during the period extending from 7 days prior to the time that voting begins pursuant to RS 18-1333 for an election until the polls have closed on election day, no owner, operator, employee, agent of such owner, operator, or employee, or any stockholder of any nursing home, or candidate or employee of any agent or worker for any candidate shall perform or cause to be performed any of the following acts while on duty or on the premises of the facility. Number one, solicit in any manner, by any means whatsoever, any person residing in a nursing home to vote for or against any candidate or proposition being voted on in the election. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. As Mr. Burns pointed out, the nursing home is the Gonzales Health Care Center, which is a nursing home in Gonzales. On their webpage, it was posted 3 days ago, which would have been Monday at the latest.
Correct.
Which is well within 7 days.
Certainly.
So therefore, by virtue of that prima facie evidence, Mr. Wiley's guilty of violating RS 18-1334.
Wow. And you know, as a candidate, I think it would behoove him, as you obviously are aware, kudos to you in being knowledgeable of that statute and refraining from having gone into a nursing home. But apparently Mr. Jeff Wiley didn't get up to speed on that little statute. So,
well, you know, he's only been the chief law enforcement officer for the parish of Ascension for the last, I don't know, what, 24 years before Bobby Weber came around. So I would expect the sheriff to know better than that. And especially being a candidate, at least, you know, do a cursory check of can I or can I not do this during my election.
Exactly. Now, folks, we're going to consider that a wrap with regard to the electioneering, and we're going to break away for just a moment because I want to resituate myself to be seated right beside Mr. Matthews because I want to chime in on. All righty, folks, we have made those logistics setups and we are back with you. And you know, he has frequently shown up and worn a cap. And so I decided, hey, he's a trendsetter, so you might be able to see. I'll put it a little closer to make sure everybody can see just what's on the top of the cap. And I got this a few hours ago in having attended a very energetic and enthused, and I mean large crowd for future Governor Jeff Landry. And I'm wearing a couple of stickers. So I had a friend that said, well, gee, given that your endorsement was so lukewarm, he said, given all that you've got on, he said, if that's lukewarm, I'd hate to see if you were all in. And as you pointed out in the last feature, I've heard some other very disparaging things about Jeff Wiley. But because
Well, I can tell you, I worked for the man for damn near 30 years, and you ain't got enough time or memory on that card to cover it all.
well, and let me just say something.
And don't get me wrong, Robert. There's a lot of people out there in Ascension Parish that have been beat down and told to stay in their lane and keep their mouths shut that know exactly what I'm talking about. And I hope and I'm praying that these are the people that come out and say, you know what, Bobby is just a chip off of Wiley block, and I'm not voting for Weber, and I'm not voting for Wiley. We're going to X out both W last names in Ascension Parish.
Well, and while we're at it, maybe even you can just remember www. That's easy for World Wide Web, right?
That's
so
right.
Weber, Wiley, and Wagispat. So www. Cross them off, folks. All right. Unless you have any concluding remarks, we're going to supply the material that he has sent. So they say, well, how do we know he went in to a nursing home and did this? We'll supply you with it. Like you said, it's right there, posted on their website.
On their website.
Folks, I think I know I can be safe in saying this is our last feature before the election, but I mean, who knows? You wake up one day and the first thing I'm seeing is, have you seen this? And he's texted me this stuff, and I said, no, I hadn't. And then he said, well, look, I want to speak on it. And I said, you've always got an open invitation. So, folks, I hope that you enjoy the Saturday weather. For those of you who choose to go and enjoy the LSU Auburn game, just don't forget the polls will be closed by the time that game's over. So if you didn't early vote, get on out there and vote. And thank everyone for their dedication to this block. I really do mean that. Thank everyone, and we will see you again in all likelihood after the election. But thank you once again for all of your dedication and your support in following this block. Y'all have an enjoyable weekend.